salary negotiation can be a stressful or uncomfortable process for many people, but it doesn't need to be. Salary negotiation is simply the process of reaching an agreement on what an organization will pay for your skills, knowledge, and experience. People who feel anxious about negotiating may wonder if it even makes a significant impact. Consider this scenario. Two candidates receive a job offer of $82,000. Candidate A negotiates an additional $5,000 to their starting salary and a 4% raise every 3 years. Candidate B does not negotiate and accepts the standard 1% raise every year after that. The difference in lifetime earnings for Candidate A and Candidate B over their careers would be roughly $600,000. In spite of this, many of us are more like Candidate B. In fact, studies of American workers have shown that more than half do not negotiate their salaries. Given the major impact of negotiation, though, the question becomes how to do it effectively. Let's begin by considering the timing of negotiation. As a job seeker, you have the most power to negotiate after you have received a job offer and before you have accepted your offer in writing. However, employers will often inquire about salary expectations during your application or interview process when they have the most power. For this reason, it's important to try to postpone the conversation and to do your research ahead of time. To postpone the conversation about salaries, you can say things like, "My salary is negotiable," or "I'd like to view the salary in the context of the entire compensation package." If you are required to name a specific number, it will be important for you to have done your research in advance. When doing your research, consider the market. This includes the position, organization type, geographic region, and business climate for the industry. You also need to consider your own value to an employer. Things like your educational attainment, relevant experience, and industry-specific skills make up your value. In addition to websites like salary.com, payscale.com, and Glassdoor, consider talking to your professional network. Trusted colleagues or mentors may be able to provide additional insight on salaries in the field that you're considering. When you do receive an offer, you may feel relieved or excited, but keep in mind that it's usually best not to accept on the spot. Instead, ask when you can get back to them with an answer. This will give you time to review the whole compensation package thoroughly and make an appropriate counteroffer. Remember that compensation is usually not just base salary. Roughly 1/3 of the average U.S. employee's pay comes from benefits. Additional benefits could include insurance, retirement plans, paid or unpaid leave, reimbursement for relocation costs, professional development, meal stipends, childcare subsidies, transit, remote work, flexible hours, tuition assistance, wellness benefits, employee discounts, technological equipment, bonuses, start date, and more. While many people understandably counter the base salary they are offered, think about your goals and priorities. You may decide that you would rather negotiate flexible hours and reimbursement for relocation costs, for example. It is generally best to pick one or two things to negotiate. Trying to negotiate too many things or trying to negotiate things far outside of the industry norms may not be well received by the employer. When making a counteroffer, use research to inform the range that you are willing to accept and prepare your specific reasons for why your counteroffer is reasonable. For example, saying something like, "Based on my research about positions like this one in the Bay Area, and given my extensive study in the field and 4 years of experience, it seems like X salary would be more aligned with the industry norms." Be prepared to respond professionally if an employer will not negotiate at all or falls short of what you're willing to accept. However, if the employer has previously stated the offer is non-negotiable or your reasons are not based on your experience or industry standards, then it is better not to make a counteroffer. For those pursuing jobs outside of their home country, try to learn more about the local culture related to negotiation. Be mindful of travel and relocation expenses, the cost of living, which may include housing, insurance, and taxes, and the visa process. Keep in mind that internships very rarely allow negotiation. To wrap up your negotiation, ask for an updated offer letter and find out what you need to sign to accept the offer. Once you have accepted the offer in writing, withdraw your candidacy for other positions and celebrate your success. If you decide to decline your offer, do so in a gracious and timely fashion so that the employer may move forward with their search. To learn more about salary negotiation, talk to a Wasserman Center career coach or check out our additional resources in Handshake.